What we just saw wasn't fiction. That was a boardroom with great intentions and terrible visibility.
A leader relying on yesterday's controls, today's assumptions, and tomorrow's hope that nothing goes wrong.
Hope, still not a control.
Those ghosts don't haunt people.
They haunt organizations that confuse compliance with assurance.
Welcome to the Risk and Rules Rundown, your go-to podcast for navigating the tricky world of compliance.
Hello world, I'm Blue, your digital compliance companion.
And I'm Red, here to remind you that risk doesn't care about the holiday calendar.
This is our holiday special, A GRC Christmas Carol.
A reflection on the governance and risk lessons boards often ignore.
Because in real life, the future doesn't send ghosts, it sends regulators. Let's start with the past, because this is where more organizations still live than they're willing to admit. Everything looked fine. Policies were written, audits were passed, dashboards were green. But governance wasn't alive, it was archived.
Ah, yes, the golden age of compliance screenshots. Once a year, someone asked the controls how they were feeling. And everyone accepted fine as a medical diagnosis.
Season 1 was full of this pattern. Breaches that weren't caused by unknown threats, but by known weaknesses left unattended.
Unpatched systems. Standing access that never expired. Findings that were accepted instead of fixed.
Which is why point-in-time compliance creates false confidence.
And false confidence is cheap. Right up until it's very, very expensive. Now let's talk about the present, because this is where things stop being comfortable. Risk doesn't sit politely inside your firewall anymore. It's outsourced, integrated, automated.
Modern organizations operate inside ecosystems, vendors, platforms, cloud providers, AI models. And while work can be delegated, accountability can't.
Season 1 showed what happens when boards forget that. Vendor breaches blamed on partners. Identity data exposed by third parties. AI systems making decisions no one can explain.
This is the ghost of risk present. Not malicious, not hidden. Just moving faster than governance frameworks designed for a slower world.
And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most boards know this. They just underestimate how fast today's risk becomes tomorrow's headline.
Which is why the present demands continuous visibility, not periodic reassurance. If you can't see your risk posture change in real time, you're already behind it. The final ghost isn't dramatic. It doesn't shout. It doesn't threaten. It simply shows consequences.
Regulators asking when the board knew, and what they did. Customers asking why their data was trusted to systems no one was watching. Executives explaining decisions that made sense at the time.
This future isn't driven by bad intent. It's driven by delayed action, by governance programs that never evolved from oversight to ownership.
The ghost of risk yet to come doesn't punish risk. It punishes denial.
And this is where the story turns. Organizations don't get visited by ghosts. They get evaluated by outcomes. So, as we head into the new year, the real question isn't what went wrong. It's, what do we change?
Because repeating last year's controls with a new calendar is not a strategy.
Governance works when it's treated as a living system, not a ceremonial one. That means thinking differently about the year ahead, continuous assurance over annual audits, visibility over optimism, accountability that survives outsourcing, boards asking how risk is managed, not just whether a report exists.
Or in plain terms, if your controls only work on paper, they won't work under pressure.
Before we power down for the year, we want to thank you for joining us through Season 1, for tuning in, questioning assumptions, and taking governance, risk, and accountability seriously when it actually matters. This show exists because of the conversations you bring back into your organizations, and we don't take that lightly.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us instead of pretending your risk register updates itself over the holidays. Enjoy the break, eat the cookies!
We'll be back in the new year with Season 2, sharper, deeper, and focused on what comes next.
New risks, new rules, same refusal to sugarcoat any of it.
This has been the Risk and Rules Rundown, where chaos meets control.